Right, welcome back everybody, Create Garden Rooms. We're over here in Princess Risborough. We're going to be building a 5 by 4 metre garden room, so 20 square metres. Here's the site. If you follow me over here, I'll show you how we're starting off. So a lot of you guys have been asking about how we do our concrete bases. Really straightforward and simple, something you guys can do at home easily by yourself. So in today's video and the upcoming videos, we're going to be doing a series now of daily builds on this project to get your whole room finished. And it's quite a straightforward build, this one. Like I say, it's just a rectangle room, 5 by 4 meters. There's nothing too fancy going on with it, so it's nice and easy. And we're going to be building a workbench for the customer as well, so we'll show you how to do that, which is handy for you guys who may be using a part of your garden room for purposes like, you know, fixing things, building wood or anything like that. So it's always good to have a workbench if you're using the garden room for multiple uses. So yeah, starting off with the base. So really straightforward, like I said. So we've done rough measurements for our outline here that we're going to cut into. We always go a little bit larger on the base, so then we can actually manipulate our shuttering in line with the property, or however the customer wants it. If they want it slightly to the left or the right, we can do that because we've got a bit of extra space. So this morning we're going to be digging all this turf up here, just a few inches in line with what the existing sub base is here that was a patio, and then we'll do our shuttering, and then we'll lay our DPM membrane down, and then the concrete's going to come, and we're just going to wheelbarrow it in. We're not going to get a pump on this one because the gate's just over there. So it's not like we've got loads of walking to do, so we're going to wheelbarrow that in and then we'll tamp it down, and that's how we do our concrete. So in this video we'll show you how to do that. Started, we're just going to go along here on the string line that we've measured. Like I said earlier, it's just a rough measurement off the gravel board on the fence over there. We've done a bit bigger because we don't know what square really. We can see the fence is all running out a little bit, but we do want to build it perpendicular to the house. So we'll run this line down here. No fancy tools needed, just a shovel. You'll just give her a marker, and we'll do that the whole way down. We've already done it on the front, and then as you can see, James, who's holding the camera right now, he's already started digging some of this up. So he's just gone along with the larger shovel, just put some lines in there, and it makes it easier just to scrape it all up. As I said, we're only taking 2-3 inches off the turf, not a massive amount off. So we're going to do all of this, and then yeah, we're good to go. Right, so we've dug all this out now, so we're all good to go and do our shuttering. We're going to go round with this little breaker here and just crack these apart. You know, a bit of hardcore here, just leftover bits. There's no point throwing it away. Break it all up and we can use that. We'll whack it down a little bit. So we'll do that for the rest of these bits. Pieces of concrete that's still here, cement. Then we're going to build our rectangle out of our shuttering, and then we're going to get the laser level out, and then we're going to work out our levels, find our highest point as our datum, work from there, and level it all off and make sure we haven't got any more dirt we need to get out of. Obviously we want to keep the concrete base as low as possible in order to get as much head height from the building as we can, because obviously in these rooms head height's always an issue when you're working to the 2.5 under permitted development. So yeah, you want to try and keep it as low as possible, but keeping it above ground level so we don't get any water issues if there was ever a big flash flood. Right, so just a quick one here. Little hurdle we've come across today is we've got this access, it's a rodding access for the rainwater on the properties on this area we are working, and it's right in the middle of the garden room, and it wasn't really placed properly anyway. You know, this is the access point, and it was a good 6 inches above ground, so it wasn't good for the customer. So we've decided that we're just going to move it. So we've just dug out a little trench here. We've dug it down lower now, so we've cut the pipe with the multi-tool. Yep, that's it. And then we're just going to extend it and move it over here, and then we'll refit this access point nice and flush with the grass, so it's not an issue for the customer. We're just going to pop that in. We were going to build up to it, but we didn't think it was right, and it's better to move it. So yeah, we're doing that quickly. James just had the multi-tool out and he's cut that, so we're going to fit that. Okay, so there's our new access point. So we've laid that in there. That's now going to be flush. We'll pack all that in with the dirt. That'll hold it nice and safe there. Now we can start shuttering up and get our levels right on this. Okay, so we fixed up the shutter in that end. Show you guys how we do it. It's really straightforward. If you come over here, James, So we've measured out our shuttering 5x4 internal measurements there. And then all we do for this, just while we're building this rectangle, is we literally piece them together like this. If you've got bits in the way, sometimes it gets a bit in the way, but we'll hold them together like that on the ends, and then we'll just screw through just some 70s on the end. 70 mils will hold it just fine. So get the screws started. You can all do it by yourself. Hold it, make sure it's all flush on the end. And then we'll put another one on the bottom there, and then we've got our perfect right angle there, which, well, we don't have it now because we haven't squared our shuttering off, but once we do, we'll get it all square. But we're going to move the shuttering just around with the levels now. We're going to find out if all our levels are right around, find our highest point, and then we'll level it all off with the laser. And then we will square it, and then we'll peg it, so we'll get to that in a minute. Right, so we've measured off the house, which is behind you. It's 5270 from the first slab up to this part of the shuttering, and then on the far end it's 527, so we know we're exactly squared to the building now. And then what we can do is we can stake our height here and fix this first part of the shuttering down, and then we can actually twist the shuttering that left or right in order to get all of our corners at a 90 degree. And then to check that, we'll do our 3-4-5. If some of you don't know what that is, it's just 3 foot, 4 foot. So you measure 3 foot on the front, or whichever side you want to start with, and then 4 foot on the opposite side. And the point between them should be 5 foot, and that means you've got a dead 90 degree angle on the corners. Or you can get one of these. Got this, these are from Wicks, they're not expensive, like 15 quid. And you can put this square in the corner. But if you're going to be working on larger measurements, the 3-4-5 is sometimes easier to do. Right, so here's the ones we made earlier.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, stakes for shuttering, nice and straightforward. Like, you can just get some batten. As you can see here, we've just used skill saw just to point them off. And you can just hammer them in like that. They go in quite easy. This is quite soft ground, so be quite straightforward to get these in, but we'll stake them in there, and that will hold our position while we work around the room, and we can lift the shuttering up or down and then fix it to get our levels with our laser level. If you're using a spirit level, again, that's a different technique. I'll show you that in another video, but for this one we're going to use a laser level because it's bang on. So we're going to fix these in. Okay, so we've set the laser level up over there. We've got the piece we put on our level stick here, and we can see this is our highest point. That's what we're setting our highest point to. That's level. And then you always start with the highest point, because then you can lift all the other corners up, and then you're going to be dead level. So we know over here, that's not reading. We lift it up about an inch, inch and a half, 2 inches, we're level. So we'll lift that up. That's good. This one here, again, we're lifting up, which is good. This corner here is very close. It's probably only lifting up about 5 to 10 mil. And the reason we check this is because it's a bit of a nightmare if you thought that was your highest point and it's not, and then you've got to start digging out and lower everything. So always go off your highest point and lift everything up to it. Then you're never going to have to start digging around and piecing bits in. So we're going to, we've got that to our level. Now we're going to square it all off. Like I said earlier, get that all right, do our 3-4-5, and then we'll be good to go. Right, so we've fixed this corner in now. So we've put some stakes in there, and we're just going to use this as a quick reference on the angles here, so we can see that fits into that corner just perfect. And then we'll work our way around. So we fixed there, and then we'll come to this end. It actually is all square. We've knocked it around a little bit, and we've got this corner square too. So that's square, that's square. We just work our way around, so we'll fix posts there, then we'll work on this one. And because the front two are square, the rest is going to be square as well. So that's perfect, all done. We actually just did our corner to corner measurement, which is the best thing to do to make sure you're all good. So you measure from dead on this corner here, just get the tape on it. And then you measure all the way to the far point corner, and we're 6,445. We've measured now from this corner to corner. And we've got 6,447. So we're actually only 2 mil out, which is really good. You can get lucky with timber sometimes. You know, the timber's going to be bowed a little bit, but we've got some real straight lengths here, so we've managed to get really good square room. Sometimes, you know, you're going to end up maybe being 10 mil out. I don't think that's a massive issue, because when you actually build your square walls on the room, you just knock off 5 mil either side in order to get the building square. But then again, you might have those issues while you're building with your wood, because it's all bent and twisted. So it's really luck of the draw which wood you get. If you can select the wood for the shuttering, it's good, as well as the tamp that we're using later. That's dead straight, and that's going to order us to make a perfectly level concrete base when we tamp it down once we've wheelbarrowed the concrete in. So we're going to go around now, as I said before, with the meter stick, with the laser level, and just go off our datum there and just level the building the whole way around. Fix it in just with some 70 mils through the battens on the outside. So once the concrete's dry, we can undo the screws, and then we can take the stakes out, and we can actually undo the shuttering, take the shuttering off. And I'll show you why we do that later, because we're going to lift our DPM membrane that we're going to put down over this up the walls, which ensures a bit of water tightness. So when we get to that, I'll show you that. Okay, so stakes are all in, we're all level. We get our laser level, dead level here. Level there. Yeah, level in all 4 corners. So we just check all that, just to make sure it hasn't moved at all. Go round. We're good there. There. And here. Lovely. So that's it, yep. That's shuttering done, and now we are just going to go and get the DPM. We're going to scrape all this out a bit, level it off, get some of this loose soil off, because we want the hard soil that we're going to be putting the concrete onto. We want that nice and packed down. So we're going to go scrape all this off, put our DPM down, and then we're ready to pour. Okay, so we're all set for the concrete. We've got our DPM down. Straightforward is just rolling it all out and get it up the sides. You know, tread it down here in the corners, make sure it's packed in so you're going to get a nice straight cut on the concrete. And then we've loaded this up here, a couple of slabs or whatever, just so we can run a wheelbarrow over the shuttering so we don't push it down. And then we can tip in the back corners of the concrete, and then we won't be raking it all from the front all the way back, because that's time consuming and it takes a lot of effort. So nice and easy, I'm just going to wheelbarrow it all in, work our way back, and then when we get towards the front, we will be able to get our wheelbarrow, and we'll just be able to put it right up to the front here and just tip it so we don't touch the shuttering, and then we'll level it all out and tamp it, and we'll show you how we tamp it in a bit. It's all you need, something like this, nice and straightforward, nothing fancy. You can just move the concrete around with that, get a rough level, and then you go over with a tamp like this. You just put some little bits of batten on the end so you can hold it, and then what you do is you go across the base and you just tap it like that. So it's a bit of a two-man job, and you go all along making sure it hits your shuttering so it's dead level the whole way, and we work our way all the way to the end like so. Go at the same time of each other and you get some nice straight lines. All the way so you get right to the end, and that's it. Concrete base done. So we'll tidy up, clean up all this mess, get the hose out, clean up a bit of the path where we've spilt some concrete, and that'll be it for today. Right, perfect. So concrete base done, all tamped down, nice and level, perfectly smooth. We just need to have a site tidy up. So that's done for today. That is how we do our base. Finished, ready to build on as it is. Tomorrow we are going to be getting rid of that mud over there, and the skip will be coming, so we'll put it in there, and then we'll have a site tidy up, and all the materials are being delivered, so we'll get all organised tomorrow while this goes off. You only need to leave it about a day, and then we will start building on Wednesday. So we'll see you then.